What's up guys, welcome to our first ever subscriber friend zone breakdown. In this video we're going to be taking a look at a text interaction that subscriber emailed me where he got friend zoned. So we're going to analyze what exactly went wrong here so that you guys don't make the same mistakes. Alright, so I got this email about 2 weeks ago and I immediately thought it would make an interesting video because I think we've all been there in that situation where you think things are going well, you're running a good game, and then you get friend zoned. So I thought we'd analyze the whole thing and see what led up to this, to the girl ultimately friend zoning him. And I think there's going to be a lot of very teachable moments here. So the email goes like this. After suggesting a day in my place or somewhere outside, she proceeded to friend zone me and then ghosted. I don't know what I did wrong. I was persistent and she knows what my intent was and I still got let's be friends. So this is common. Sometimes you think the date went well, but the girl doesn't really think it went well. So let's take a look. He says context. We matched on OkCupid, but couldn't meet due to scheduling logistical issues, but we followed each other on IG and I tried to set up a date many times, but her job took priority over us meeting up. So the first thing I want to say is if you match with a girl on a dating app, you should ultimately move it to a phone number, right? WhatsApp or text. I see this mistake quite often. Guys just for some reason decide to move it to Instagram because it's easier. Now Instagram is a good tool and you should definitely use it if you have a good Instagram in addition to the phone number, but it should never be a replacement for the phone number. So again, use it as an addition, but don't use it as a replacement. Anyway, keeping going. The comment was started by her replying to my Insta story and then proceeded to set up the date, and the setup went more smooth compared to all my previous failed attempts. Note, screenshot 6 is just to confirm the time logistics of the date. That's why the cutoff point looks a bit weird. Screenshot 7 and 8 are post-date, which went pretty good. We kissed at the end, but it felt a bit forced on my end. But nevertheless, I showed intent. So I think that's going to be another big thing, is that he says that we kissed at the end, but it felt a bit forced on my end. And as we get into this, I'm going to explain what I think happened on the date. We tried to set up another day before my trip back home country, but there was too many scheduling issues on both sides. Once I left, we haven't texted for 2 weeks. Screenshot 9 when I text her 1 week before my comeback to the city we both live in. It took a few days to respond, but she was still engaged in a combo up until I suggested the plan for the second date. After that, it all went to shit, as you'll see. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the screenshots, and I might skim through a little bit if I feel like it's getting boring. I want to make sure that we stay focused on the actual topic of him getting friend zoned and see what kind of led up to that. So this is where the conversation begins. This is the infamous screenshot 1, and I guess she replies to his story and says, dude, you kind of look like Adam Levine in here, MGL. Are you paying me a compliment? Since when being told you look like Adam Levine is not a compliment? Are you all dressed up? What's the occasion? So he sends a voice memo. We can't really see what he says. Towards our friend wedding, actually, do you like my outfit? I don't like all the questions he's asking. Are you paying me a compliment? Do you like my outfit? It seems like he's seeking validation a little bit. Not a big deal by any stretch, but just want to point that out. All right, but for the record, I said you look like him. I didn't say anything about you being an asshole. I like it looking sharp. Weddings are such a vibe. He says all these compliments. Wow, Salamat. I feel indebted now. XP. So this is going to be a common pattern you see. Stop using all these feminine emojis like XPs and LOLs and LMFAOs and all this weird internet Generation Z slang. I think it makes your texting look kind of feminine. I don't recommend guys do it. I occasionally use emojis in my texting when I want to soften a text because I don't want the girl to interpret it as me being dead serious. But aside from that, you really want to keep that shit to a minimum. Haha, dude, I'm betting you one drink is going to be a big fat yes on this poll. Wow, Tagalog, quite impressive. So that's the language they speak in the Philippines. Lol, no, don't feel indebted. It's all coming out of the goodness of my heart. It's all good. If you win, I pay for the drink. If I win, you pay. So again, just remove that emoji, sir. The offer is sponsored by the goodness of my heart. So they got some good banter going. Again, this banter is not really my style. It's a little too feminine and wishy-washy, but hey, it's working. Like the girl's actively responding. She's investing. So, I'm not going to claim that my style is the best for every girl, right? It's just my style and it works quite well. But sometimes, people have different styles and that's okay. Haha, I don't think that's fair, but okay. You're winning so far and my offer isn't fair. Where did you go to school? Haha. So again, look at this statement. 2 question marks, a haha, and then 2 laughing emojis. This could be completely removed. You could just say, you're winning and so far my offer isn't fair. 1 question mark, where do you go to school? That's it. You don't need to put all these emojis and lols and RFLOs. It's just not necessary. And again, just makes your texting look feminine. Ooh, oh my God, hold on. I thought you said you pay either way. I was sleepy last night. Okay, give me a break. I'm just teasing you. I don't even recognize some of those people who voted for yeah. And thus further proves my point, but it's actually kind of a close poll. I mean, we still have a few hours till it ends, so technically you could still win. I like how she's getting so interested in his little Instagram poll. Hey, if you guys are enjoying the content on this channel, then make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, and click that bell for notification. Seems like you're checking that poll a lot. XP again, that should be removed. I still haven't casted my own vote though. I'll leave that one for the grand finale. Haha. I'm not. Stop assuming. All right. Save it for the thrill. Haha. Do you like cocktails? I do. Why do you ask? Research purposes, of course. So this is him going for the close. I'm happy that he's moving things towards the meetup after a few, screenshots worth of banter. That's good. He waited just the right amount of time. He got some good banter, and then he's moving it. But I don't know. Research purposes, of course, seems a little soft. It's fine, but I would have said, because I want to meet up for a drink. Like, I would have just been more direct here, but this is fine. So he says from here, it's just like this. Haha, all right then. Do you know any good places to grab drinks and blah, blah, blah? So he says, already scouting the place where you want to celebrate your victory. XP. No more XPs. She said, haha, you bet. I heard blah, blah, blah is pretty great, but I don't think that's so long, blah, blah, blah. Haha, never been actually, but I'm open for that one. So they're talking about logistics. What I don't like here is that he's letting her pick the venue. You don't want to do that, because when a girl's the one picking the venue, guess what? She's going to pick the place that's close to hers, unless she's like very strategically determined to fuck and she knows her place is an option, which is not going to be the case. So what you want to do is you want to be the one that picks the place, so you can pick a place that's close to where you live, and thus you have a much easier time pulling the girl. So don't be the one just like be like, oh, I don't know, where should we go? Like, actually do a tad bit of research, find a place that's close to you, that's good, and be the one that suggests the venue. Haha, never been actually, but I'm open for that one. All right, perfect. 1 more hour till I officially win. She's watching How to Get Away with Murder, hence the joke. Planning to have me whacked after you use me for a drink. Smiley face, question mark. I get it's a joke. I don't like what this insinuates, that she's going to use him for a drink. I just don't like that. I would have just said, plan to have me whack, question mark. That would have been fine as it is. So quite often you'll see that keeping things shorter and simpler is actually better. It's not always good to just make things longer and more complex. In fact, that usually will work against you. She says, haha, no, quite the opposite. I'm doing some research, so I'll no send defense in case you do something. And then she re-engages, hi, you still free tomorrow? Yep, I am. Haha, the enthusiasm is defeating. I'm saving it for tomorrow, of course. Does around 8 p.m. work for you? Ooh, I was thinking maybe a bit earlier. I have to work early next day. I swear to God, I'm quitting. Lol. What about 4 p.m.? So here you're going to see that he accepts the 4 p.m. date. I don't like that. I don't like doing afternoon dates. I mean, sometimes they're fine, yes. But if she's saying that she has to work really early, like, you're already setting up the date where you have a time limit on it. So I would have just moved it to a date when she has more time, been like, oh, that's a little early for me. What evenings are you free, or what days do you have off work? And schedule it for a time where she has the whole evening, where you don't have an artificial time limit that's going to be kind of capping you. Again, I'm not saying you can never do daytime dates. They're fine. I've done them. I've hooked up on them. But you're starting off a little bit beyond the curveball. It's better to have a date where there's no time limit. So he says, I'm going to tell your boss, give us some more free time. Again, puts in like an upside down smiley face. Dear God, I think that's good, but I'll confirm with you ASAP. And so here, I guess, it's a little confusing, but here they go on the date, right? So this is the infamous screenshot 6. Her texting after a date, and she says, text when you're home. That's a little bit odd, because usually you're the guy says that. Like, usually it's the guy. You kind of see in this text interaction, it's almost like the roles are reversed. Like, she's the more dominant one and he's the more like submissive one, which is odd. And that's not the frame you want to have, where you're like the submissive one. Unless of course it's an older MILF and it's a role play where she's the one that's seducing you, right? Only in that context is that okay. So here the date happens. I think we need to really think about the date. I mean, he said that basically the date ended with a kiss that felt slightly forced. First of all, you don't want to save the kiss for the very end, right? That's a common mistake that people think they should do because of movies and whatnot. But you want the kiss to happen before the date even ends, right? It shouldn't be like the ending that's waiting for. It should be happening all along the date. That's the first thing. The second of all is, the important word is, it felt forced. So if it felt a little bit forced to him, it definitely felt a lot more forced to her. So I think there's going to be a combination of factors here. I think already we're seeing that texting is kind of feminine. There's no man to woman frame, right? This is a very friend to friend interaction. It's like two butt buddies texting each other, right? Or like two friends, right? It's not like a man texting a woman, right? It just doesn't feel that way. And secondly, it sounds like there was not really a lot of sexual polarity or sexual tension on a date, because usually kind of the way you banter with a girl over text is not going to be radically different than the way you banter in real life. Sometimes it is, but I don't think it was in this case. I think he kept it pretty platonic over text, and he kept it pretty platonic on the date, thus ending it with a kiss. Because if it wasn't pretty platonic on the date, then he would have said, oh, and I tried to pull her back to my place. She gave me this objection. I said this, blah, blah, blah. But there wasn't any of that, which I think assumes he didn't even try to pull her. He just went for that awkward kiss at the end, which again, so those two things are already big factors. I think the date is usually the most important factor, but we're going to see a little bit more stuff happen here. She's like, haha, I'm still study good. So she's responding. So she doesn't dislike him. Like, she likes the guy. Like, she likes him as a person. But the question is, does she also see him as a sexual threat? And I think the answer is no, right? So there's two components. Does she like you as a person? Does she see you as a sexual threat? We got yes for the first one, probably not for the second. So he mentions her in a story of them like getting cocktails, I guess. I don't think they made me smarter though. Oh, she replies to his story. He says, you haven't tasted my mojitos yet. Did you enjoy yourself? Yes, yes. Oh my God, it was very nice. And I also got to meet up with a friend from work and it was chill. Glad to hear. Talk soon. Good night, Tonga. Tonga means like dumbass, but in a joking way. Haha, good night, Bobo. They have like little cute nicknames for each other. I guess it's fine. So he says, so ever since we met up, I've seen some kind of Filipino ad appearing on my Facebook feed like 4 or 5 times. Haha. Again, texting is still the dynamic. Their texting dynamic is exactly the same as it was before the date. It's still very friend to friend. It hasn't changed at all. Haha, oh my God, that kind of sus. Maybe you've been researching a lot about my country. So this is another interesting factor. So she's Filipina. So if she's like fresh off the boat Filipina, that does mean that you're gonna have to be a little bit more assertive, because usually like Filipina, Thai girls, they're a little bit more reserved and awkward, and you have to make up for it by being a little bit more assertive and dominant. I'm not saying like make her do something she doesn't want to do, obviously not, but you have to be a little bit more take charge, right? You can't let her just like kind of be the boss, right? Which is kind of what's happening here. Yeah, sure, you totally busted me. Again, another smiley face. Okay, oh my God. MYB, the universe is trying to tell me STH something by randomly placing. Yeah, don't do this Generation Z weird internet slang. It just makes you look like a dumbass, honestly, who doesn't know how to spell. Maybe I'm old, I'm 32, but I don't like this shit. MYB, STH, just write the word out. It takes an extra 2 seconds. I think it makes you look a lot more intelligent if you do that. So here the screenshot kind of comes out. So she says, what is it you're trying to tell me? We can't see that voice memo, but that job of yours is third wheeling, haha. And again, he still keeps using the ha-has and the upside down emojis and all that stuff that's kind of feminine. Elmo, yeah, I don't know. I just don't have the energy to reply sometimes, lol, and I usually forget that people are actually DMing me. That's why I don't reply. When are you back? Do you have WhatsApp? I'm back on Tuesday. So only now is he going for the number. Like, the number should have been, the WhatsApp question should have been asked way earlier. He should have moved things off OkCupid to WhatsApp and then in addition add her on Instagram, right? But if he didn't do that, at the very least, on the date, where he didn't pull, he should have gotten her number. There is no reason why this conversation should still be on Instagram DMs. Like, no reason at all, because it's very impersonal. He says, I'm back on Tuesday. I think I do, but I don't check it often. So yeah, so he says, so how's my favorite Filipino doing? If by that you mean me, I'm fine. Haha, same old, same old. How's the vacation going? Started out boring, NGL, oh God. But now it's awesome. I fixed my old guitar, did some cool shit with friends. Also got a new haircut, a new pair of glasses. You won't recognize me. So again, no sexual polarity, no sexual tension, no man to woman frame, very friend to friend. Ooh, is this the guy glow up you've been waiting for? Maybe you'll probably look a bearded Harry Potter. So he says, call back. So you think I look like Harry Potter or Adam Levine? Again, just kind of feminine. Indeed, we'll see. I just got an idea regarding how we can see that to make the whole thing more fun. By the way, do you still have only 1 day off from work? She's like, haha, ooh, very intriguing. What is this idea of yours? Yes, unfortunately so. It involves your presumably still XP, good judgment, and one other thing, but no spoilers for now. Which day was it again? Remind me. Just kind of an odd way to set up a date. He says, don't think too hard on how I'm actually free this week. So what is it that you had in mind? And this is where things really go downhill. So they have already been kind of going downhill, even though you can't see it, but it's going to become apparent. So he says, so 2 options. We can go somewhere cool in blah, 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 or you can come over to my place and we can make some great food, play some music and chill. On which day are you free though? She doesn't respond, so he double texts, thinking hard I see, and here she drops the bomb. So she says, oh, hi, sorry, I think I accidentally opened your messages a few days ago. I forgot to reply. Actually, I have plans with my family this week, so I guess you can proceed with your plans as well. So this is her just being cryptic and bailing. So here he calls her out, kind of, he says, but why would you say I'm free? What do you have in mind? And then after I give my ideas, not say anything. It doesn't make sense, lol. Fair point. And she says, honestly, I was actually considering meeting up again, but I don't know, maybe I changed my mind. I'm just not comfortable with how things are going. It's all very fast. Don't you think, LMAO, we kissed on the first date? Oh my God, big deal, we kissed on the first date. And you're inviting me to your place for our second date? Oh my Lord, maybe it's not working out. Okay, So you can see, like, let's actually dig into this. So she's saying, I was considering meeting up again. So being she was already kind of on the fence, right? What is she doing in this text? She's basically seeking reassurance. She wants to know that, no, this is not weird. No, this is not odd, that this is totally normal. And she's the one that's being crazy. So what I would have said, I appreciate the honesty, but no, I don't think this is moving fast at all. There's nothing wrong with a man and a woman kissing at the end of a nice date. And I invited you back to my place because I thought we could cook, but if you're not comfortable with that, we can meet somewhere public. Something like that, right? Like even, I wouldn't even say even if you're not comfortable with that, but if you think that's a big deal, then we can meet somewhere public. It almost make her feel like she's the crazy one for posing this concern, because again, she's seeking reassurance here. She wants a dominant man to be the leader here and give her that reassurance, right? That's kind of what's happening under the surface. He handles this in a very bad way. He says, what is your concern, like exactly? So dude, she just gave you her concern, right? So you don't need to ask at this point for clarification because she just gave it to you. She says, I just told you, I feel like it's all going too fast. And he handles it pretty badly. He says, okay, I see. First of all, I would never want to make you feel uncomfortable, forcing you into something against your will. Dude, like, this is way overreacting to something. Like, you didn't do anything wrong. You don't need to apologize for something that you didn't do wrong. Like, why are you saying that you never want, like, he's just being basically too understanding. This is like when a girl says, oh, I don't know if I want to meet tonight. I'm kind of feeling a little sleepy, haha. And you're like, oh my God, okay, well, get some rest. Maybe we can meet another guy. You're being too understanding, and too much empathy will actually work against you, honestly. She says, second, you could have just said, I would like to meet someone in public, and I would have said, yeah, sure. Also, from 2 times we've hung out together and you told me you enjoyed it, I would be pretty fucking stupid to make the future dates not enjoyable, haha. So this is just way too logical. This is not a good response at all. And you can see that it doesn't work. She says, I know, and that's very nice of you to give options, and I really appreciate it, but it's not fair that I keep stringing you along. It's not that you've done anything wrong. All you've done was be a sweetheart, honestly, and I just think it's way cool if we just stay friends. Actually, what he did wrong was be the sweetheart. This is why I'm never gonna be the sweetheart. I used to make this mistake when I was much younger. Never again. Now, I'm not saying that you need to be an asshole or be mean to girls or be pushy or anything like that. No, of course not. You don't want to do that. But you also don't want to be the super nice guy, right? The guy that's just going along and being super friendly, super non-confrontational, just like trying to get on the girl's good side, trying to impress her. That shit doesn't work. It looks like it works in movies. In movies, it always ends well, but in real life, it always ends like this, with a girl being like, oh, sorry, can we just be friends? That's the difference between movies and real life. In movies, it ends well. In real life, it ends like this. And hopefully this lesson gets through to anyone who's considering this behavior. And if you find that you're being a nice, too much of a nice guy, or getting a lot of texts like this, check out the book, No More Mr. Nice Guy. She says, what's the question? When I suggested those 2 options about what we could do, why didn't you directly say what was on your mind instead of me having to pull that out of you? Because she's a girl. That's the answer there, because girls will always do that because they hate confrontation, so they will kind of beat around the bush and give you indirect answers like that. Very few girls will just give you a straight up answer right away. I don't know what you want me to say. I'm sorry, as I told you, I just don't see you this way, and that's why I didn't answer, because I wasn't ready to communicate that yet. So this is interesting, because if we go 2 screenshots back, she's contemplating friend zoning him, but she hasn't decided yet. And then 2 screenshots later, because of his shitty response, now she has officially friend-zoned him. And he responds, okay, I don't see you as a friend. I think you got that with a kiss, so me saying yes to friendship would be lying. I don't lie. If considered dating a girl, I invite you over to mine to meet not to meet my parents. 'Twas meant to be just us 2 vibing and chilling together, not as fuck date. But if that and the kiss is too fast for you, then it's probably better we end things now. And she doesn't respond to that, because why would she? Because she already made up her mind. She's likely not going to backtrack. So at this last screenshot's probably too late, but if I was brought in to try to salvage it, when she says, I don't know what you want me to say, I'm sorry, I just told you to see the way things, that's why I didn't answer, because I wasn't ready to communicate that yet. I would have probably gone completely other direction. I would have probably thrown in a little bit of trolling. I would have said, why would I be friends with a cute girl like you? Like something like that. Yeah, something along the lines of that. Maybe that's not joking, but that's just like kind of more direct and confrontational. And again, like the problem is that he's just like being too explanatory, too much of a nice guy. And you can see that this just didn't happen out of the blue. There was things leading up to this, like the feminine texting, lack of sexual tension, the date ending with an awkward kiss instead of, and the way a date should end is with him sleeping with her. But if it doesn't end like that, it should at least end with a lot of sexual tension, which didn't happen. Then also continuing the friend-to-friend vibe. And ultimately, the deal breaker was handling that concern in a very, very bad way. So hopefully you guys learn from this mistake so you don't fall down this path as well. All right, hopefully you guys found this video valuable. So to quickly recap, here are the mistakes the guy made. 1, too many emojis, LOLs, LMFAOs, all this weird internet slang. Don't do that. 2, not getting the girl's phone number. That's also a mistake. Should have done that right away. 3, keeping a very friend-to-friend vibe that lacks any kind of man-to-woman dynamic or any kind of sexual tension. 4, letting her pick the location of the date. 5, letting the date end with an awkward kiss. 6, keeping up the friend-to-friend vibe. And 7, handling the concern and objections that she gave in a very poor way. And all that culminated with him getting friend zoned. So it was a series of things, but honestly think that if all the things remained the same, but on the date, it went really well and there was a lot of sexual tension, then none of this would have happened. So I think your in-person impression is probably going to be the most important one. Anyway, show us that you don't want to get friend zoned by smashing the like button, hitting subscribe, and clicking the bell for notification. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this interaction. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time.